Hey, Jake Sloan back with another video. Finally, it's good to be back. It's good to see you again, and it's good to finally be showing you what I think is probably one of the best examples of uses of the Mavic 2 Pro that you could possibly get. So before I launch into this video, this started out as going out to a really cool location, exploring to do a review video of the Mavic 2 Pro. And it's taken me this long to give you the footage because of a lot of reasons, partly which is this new space I'm in. So it sounds different. I'm working on it still, tweaking the sound, and it's gonna get there, but bear with me while I watch it. So, the Mavic 2 Pro, incredible drone, great footage, amazing capability. It's really, really good. I really like it. But to do this video, my friend Keith and I took his plane, by the way, that he built with his own two hands, and flew out to an area by the Knik Glacier and the Colony Glacier, and we did a little exploring. Now at this point, we've been flying around the mountains for 30, 45 minutes or so, just looking at glaciers, looking at mountains, looking at lakes and rivers and waterfalls, and we found a bear. I didn't really get any footage of that, but it was really cool. And then as we're flying over this glacier, which is the Colony Glacier, we saw this area that it looked like we could possibly land. So after we did a couple of passes, we landed, and it was a spectacular location. Now, as we were playing there and taking lots of drone footage and enjoying the time, we noticed that there were some areas of the wall very close to us that were getting ready to come down. And being that there were chunks of ice that had been thrown off of pieces that had come down recently near us and around the plane, we decided it was probably best to move on before any of those big chunks came down and did any sort of massive sorts of damage to us or to the plane. So we took off and flew toward an area called the Mud Strip, which is a small, flat area of ground that lots of people with bush planes land in during the summers and just enjoy some of the most amazing views in a place here in Alaska. As we're flying down, Keith was flying low around massive icebergs. And when you see these icebergs, you have to remember that only 10% of the actual mass of the iceberg is above the water. The rest is below. So when you see a chunk of ice that is the size of a 2-story or 3-story house or the size of a city block, you know that there is much more ice below the surface. from here, before we decided to leave, I had a little bit of battery power left, and so we decided to get some shots of Keith and his airplane taking off and landing in this area called the Mud Strip, because it was so perfect. There was no wind, it was sunny, it was beautiful, it was gorgeous. And before I show you these shots, you need to know a couple of things. One, Keith and I carefully coordinated every single thing we were going to do so that he was going to know where the drone was at all times, and I was going to know where he was flying and coming into. We were very careful to make sure that we planned all of these shots out ahead of time, and that he knew where the drone was, and that I was staying out of his path and clear of him so that there was no danger. There was one other person there with a Citabria, and we talked with him and made sure that we were all on board and all in the same train of thought before we shot any of this. So do not go out thinking you can shoot airplanes taking off and landing without carefully coordinating first. You cannot. And don't fly near airstrips, don't fly near airports unless you have permission and you know what you're doing. After we'd done that, it was time to take off and start to head back. But first, we flew around some of this area because these glaciers are huge. We flew by icebergs that were the size of 2 city blocks. They were massive. And remember, that's only 10% of what you can see. And flew over these glaciers that were miles and miles of just solid, rugged ice. We both realized we really didn't want the engine to quit, because if it did, we had nowhere we could have possibly emergency landed, or if we found anywhere, it wouldn't have been a fun or smooth landing. But the area was incredibly beautiful. Before I show you just a little bit more footage of just this incredible day and this incredible place of Keith and I exploring some glaciers very near where we live in Alaska, I want to say thank you for watching. If you liked what you saw and you enjoyed this video, then hit subscribe and let me know in the comments below. I'd really like to interact with you and talk with you more. I've got more videos coming. I've got the Moment anamorphic lens finally for my phone, so I'll be shooting a video on that. It is now frozen and cold and frost covered up here, and so it'll be a much more wintry video than this one. But let me know what you thought of this footage, and let me know what you think of the drone if you've gotten the Mavic Pro 2 or the Mavic Pro Zoom. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the drone. Let me know what you think of the footage, and let me know if you like that really widescreen kind of anamorphic setup. I just been playing around. I was kind of getting bored with 16:9. So thanks for watching. Thank you for subscribing, and I'll see you again soon on the next video.